As we move out of the age of mindfulness into the age of somatic-based healing, that's healing the body from the body up rather than the mind down, you're going to hear so much about breathwork as a super potent tool for repatterning your nervous system and clearing stuck emotions. As a trauma-informed breathwork facilitator, I am here to teach you the 2 things you need to consider to effectively integrate breathwork from a conscious, intentional place into your daily habits and healing routines. What is breathwork, and what are the 2 things you need to know in order to effectively and intentionally integrate it into your life? Breathwork, in the simplest terms, is a specific type of breathing, specific breathing pattern for a specific amount of time. That's it. It's a breathing pattern for a specific amount of time, and it's used to clear stuck emotions in the body, to redirect the nervous system out of stress states into rest states. Because what happens when we don't fully process our emotions and our experiences is that they get held in the body kind of like a knot, right? So breath work, it relieves that knot. It brings attention and loving witness to that knot, and it allows it to slowly relax, process, and be integrated through the body in a way that it can be then released. So a lot of times when we feel an overwhelming emotion like anger or anxiety or depression, our first thought is, how do I get rid of this? This doesn't feel good in my body. How do I get rid of it? And it skips the step of actually processing it, getting the information and the wisdom that emotion has for you, and then releasing it. So breathwork is the process of processing your emotions. It's a tool that you can use to create a container to actually process your emotions. And that is why it is so powerful in helping you release old patterns, release old ways of being and thinking, and step into a present state of being where you can act and behave and think and feel like the person that you desire to be, rather than being stuck as the person that you learn to be, right? If you don't know me already, my name is Elia Pritchard. I am a trauma-informed breathwork facilitator who trained with nationally recognized pause breathwork, and I am here to help you learn the 2 things you need to know to integrate it effectively into your life and make an informed decision about whether or not breathwork is right for you at this time. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is that there's meditative and there's integrative breathwork that I teach under the Kaleidoscope channel and under the Pause breathwork theology. There are other types of breathwork that other facilitators might guide you through, so you get to make an informed decision about what feels like a fit for you. Are you going to use integrative or are you going to use meditative? Let's dissect that a little bit. Integrative breathwork can be anything from breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Do it one more time with me now. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, fully relaxing the belly, dropping the shoulders. You just did integrative breath work. It can be as short as 30 seconds of practice and anywhere up to about 8 minutes of active breathing. So integrative breath work is designed to be integrated into your day, throughout your day, used as a practice that helps you transition from work to home or home to work, or transition from a state where you feel stress to a state where you feel focused and energized. And it's really, really powerful because you can use it in such bite-sized pieces. You can take it anywhere you go. You can use it at any point in time. And it's very potent for in the moment, bringing you out of stress states into a state of presence and rest. So it literally drops your nervous system from the big stressed out states of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, down into a rest state where you're present and focused, and you can make a decision that is well informed and not reactive to the emotional stress states that you might be in. Isn't that amazing? You can use any variety of breath patterns that you learn on your own with other facilitators or on the Kaleidoscope channel to do integrative practices, whatever feels good in your body. But the point is to slow down and connect, because that is so counterintuitive for many of us, especially if we didn't learn to process our feelings fully as kids, or that it was safe to slow down and connect to the body, right? Integrative breathwork. is that, and you'll often see it if it's run as a journey, as like a 15 to 30 minute practice where you sort of lead in, then you do the breath, and then you lead out. Meditative breathwork, on the other hand, is more like a deep dive. So think of it like a yoga class, but for breathing, right? Where you are probably being held in a space that lasts anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. Some facilitators under other breathwork theologies will do it longer than that, but it's a meditative practice. It is state of consciousness shifting. And the point is to go in for a deep dive and really give the opportunity to the body to fully process what's present, to learn that it is safe to be in the body and to feel. You're giving the mind an opportunity to practice letting go of the chatter and the thoughts and the thinking and the clinging to the exterior and like, what do I have to do? We can't be in the present in the body. We have a million things we need to react to. So you give the mind something to do, which is breathe, and it goes, okay, I can do that. And it helps you ground and come into the body, and then the body learns that it's safe for you to be present with it, and it's safe for it to feel. Because the likelihood is, if you've been ignoring and avoiding your emotions your whole life, or just have no idea how to process them, the body's gonna get overwhelmed in the beginning. And meditative breathwork is a beautiful container in order to practice that. And just fully connect with yourself, because how much time do you spend doing that every day? Just deeply, lovingly, without an agenda, connecting with yourself. Yeah. So, integrative, short blips throughout your day. Meditative, deep dives. There's no prescribed amount of breathwork you need to do for it to be effective or potent, but a lot of people do like weekly sessions with meditative or monthly sessions, or it could just be something that you dive into when you feel like you need a really beautiful, nourishing boost or shift, right? So that's the first thing to know, is that there's two different kinds of breath work, and I teach the integrative on the Kaleidoscope channel, and you can do meditative breath work with me in the Breathe membership. If you are doing meditative breath work, these are my words of caution, and then I'm going to tell you what the second thing is, which is what to expect in your breathwork sessions, physically, emotionally, and mentally. If you are considering doing meditative breath work, I want you to make sure that you are practicing first with a trauma-informed facilitator, because it is state shifting. It can access trauma that's being held in the body, and it can be re-traumatizing if you are not being held in a space where you have someone supporting you and coming back down and coming back into presence, right? So breathwork works with the nervous system. It's going to activate those traumatic experiences that are in the body. And if you're doing that at a pace that feels really good for you, that is slow, that slowly builds up your tolerance to being present in the body and breathing, it can be safe to revisit that trauma, integrate it, and release it slowly at your own pace. But if you are working with a facilitator that pushes you in and tells you to breathe harder and breathe deeper and go faster, you might get overwhelmed in your system, and then you're going to get locked in one of those fight, flight, freeze, fawn nervous system survival states, right? So you want to titrate up, is the kind of technical word for it. You want to baby step your way up to having the tolerance that your body needs to breathe, because it is work. Breath work. It's a new experience, and it can be very, very activating. So make sure you're working with a trauma-informed breathwork facilitator. You can self-direct your own meditative sessions, but I don't recommend doing that until you really have a sense of what it feels like to move through a breathwork journey, and you are very confident in your ability to guide your own journey that way. Always, always, always know that you are cue number one. Facilitators are cue number two. So even if I'm telling you to do a specific breath, you get to choose a different breath if that breath doesn't feel good in your body. If I'm having you do the halo active, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and that's feeling too strong, then you slow it down. Give your body time to work that muscle. You wouldn't go to the gym for the first time in 6 months and just go from 0 to 100. You'd slowly build your tolerance, right? Or if we're doing a practice that is with the triactive, and this goes with integrative practices as well, always make sure that it feels good in your body to breathe. If we're doing the triactive breath, which is the 3-part breath, filling the belly, filling the chest, and exhaling usually all through the mouth, and and that is way too intense for your body and you can feel the activation making you feel unsafe, do it all through the nose. Or maybe cut it in half, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Right? You get to decide if you are working on integrating meditative breath work. Make sure you're doing it in a trauma-informed space that really honors you going at your own pace. Got it? All right, what to expect from breath work. Let's start with integrative and then I'll tell you about meditative. Integrative practices shouldn't be state of consciousness shifting, though they can be sometimes. Make sure you are sitting down. Never ever do breath work when you're driving or holding or anything like little bebes or, power tools. Make sure you're sitting down and rooted. You can do them sitting up, integrative sessions, and you might experience lightheadedness, overwhelming emotions, or just big emotions coming through the body. Sometimes your body has been holding onto these emotions for so long and it's been avoided for so long that when you finally slow down and witness it and see it, it can feel overwhelming. And be like, oh, thank you for seeing me, and it will emote. Let those roll through you. Let those roll through you. The lightheadedness is normal. Tingling is normal. Feeling hot or cold is normal during integrative sessions. Sometimes you can have auditory shifts where you get sort of like a muffling or a wah 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 in the ears. That's just the blood pressure shifting in the body. But overall, integrative sessions should be energy shifting, but not state of consciousness shifting, right? Now with meditative sessions, you're usually going to do that in a private space. You're going to be laying down. You're not going to have a pillow behind your head because you want your airway to be open, though it can feel comfortable to put it behind your knees, right? So if you have back pain, to lift your knees up a little bit. And similar experiences, you might have any range of emotions come through: anxiety, sadness, joy, bliss, anger, pleasure, sensations, tingling, out of body experiences. All of that is super normal in a breathwork session, as well as the opposite of it: feeling nothing, feeling distracted, feeling frustrated or annoyed or not present. It's all a part of the process of your body building your tolerance and bringing up whatever it's been holding on to for all of these years, or whatever you're processing in the moment. So if you're starting out in your breathwork sessions and you're like, I don't feel anything at all, like this must not work, give your body time to build tolerance. When I first started breathing, I used to fall asleep a lot because my body was like, this is too much work doing this breathwork pattern for this long. And I used to feel really distracted. And I also used to yawn. These are all protective mechanisms that your body will bring up to avoid doing the breath work and jumping in. But usually once you get in about 8 minutes, 10 minutes in to the practice breathing, it starts to become second nature and it'll start to feel really good. And it won't feel like so much work. But if you feel nothing in the beginning, that's totally fine. Just give it some time. Give it some time. Give it 5 to 10 sessions and see how you feel. If you feel super overwhelmed, slow down, babes. There's no right way to do this. It should feel good though, and it should feel nourishing, and it should feel safe. You're learning about your body and connecting deeply for maybe the first time in your life. So give yourself a lot of grace, feel those emotions fully, let them come up, let them come through. You might also experience temperature shifts. That's getting really hot or really cold. So if you're doing a meditative session, make sure you've got a blanket or a duvet, or you have layers on so that you can actively shift those as you need. I breathe really cold, so I always have duvets with me, and it helps me stay present, because if you get chilly, it's hard to be present in the body. You might also experience tetany. About 30% of people experience tetany, which is a cramping of the hands, face, and feet. Sometimes it's numbness from the waist up. It sounds super freaky deaky, but it's just a shift in the CO2 level in your body. So your blood alkalinity shifts and it causes seizing. It's safe. You can breathe through it for the duration of the session, or if it feels uncomfortable at any point in time, just release the breath. You are having seizing muscles. So if you have any sensitivities in the tendons in your hands or your feet, it might feel more comfortable to just relax the breath and let the tetany kind of ease out, right? And then pick it back up if you want. When I say relax the breath, I mean drop the specific breath pattern and go back to your normal breathing for a bit. Okay, So you can experience visions, you can experience inner child work come up during breath sessions. You can experience deep silence and relaxation, out of body experiences, deep inner body experiences. Like I said, trauma can come up as well. Sometimes people will have blacked out memories come up like almost outside of the body to be reprocessed, right? And so this is why it's really important to go at your own pace and know that you can always come back down to ground into the body, kind of keep that tethered to the earth when trauma is being processed especially. But it is safe. It's safe and it's really normal for traumatic memories and emotions to come up when you're breathing, because again, you're connecting directly to the nervous system, and that's where that trauma is held. What else? The most important thing is just to make sure you're comfortable. Light a candle, light some incense, put the diffuser on, turn the heat on, shut the door, lock the door if you really want the privacy. You want to make sure that you're self-contained. Get your favorite crystals, get your stuffies, bring a journal so that you can write down whatever comes up for you during session and fully integrate that information. And if you are experiencing something big, make sure you leave 10 to 20 minutes after your meditative breathwork sessions to integrate, to talk about it, to write it down, to breathe, to just meditate and revisit what came up for you, rather than jumping straight out of a meditative session into the rest of your life, okay? So you've got lots and lots of options when it comes to making sure this tool is used effectively for you. But just know that it's important to choose consciously and wisely and to go at a pace that feels good. All right? Subscribe if this was helpful to you. I could talk a lot more about the positive benefits of breathwork and what to experience during session, but of course, this is just ongoing. Subscribe if it was helpful for you. Like this video so we can get this information out to other people. Let me know in the comments what you think and what you feel, if you've tried any of the integrative breathwork. And if you want to learn more and breathe with me in the Breathe membership, the link is below, and I'd love to have you in for some of our live meditative sessions and embodied boundaries workshops. Mwah! I love you so much. I will see you in the next one.